Hey Libra, welcome to your January 2025 reading. Capricorn season reading, your Intuitive Astrology Tarot here at Venusian Wave. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as including payment options. And then this reading and the extended reading will be on Patreon, so you can take a look there. This is a powerful reading, Libra, first of all, because all of the cardinal signs are feeling a shift, or in some areas relief, of course, but then there is the healing that comes from the relief, the integration period, right? So I have notes here, but it's, so rebirth is talked about a lot, and you come right before Scorpio, and Scorpio will be the next reading. So I'm going to let some cards come out, but as we talk about as I shuffle here, what I would like to say is that during rebirthing periods, now some people feel this in ways where it's like all at once. They lose this, they take losses, lose out on friendships, and now, of course, rejection has now become a very significant, obvious statement of protection sometimes, right? And so now bringing it back into terms of that, but also realizing that's, yes, some people happens all at once in the same year, in the same few months, whatever it is. For others of us, it happens in stages. Now, the biggest thing I want you to realize at this moment is that, yes, is everyone going through certain things right now? Yeah, everyone's always going through certain things. Like, everyone's always going through something. Positive or negative, doesn't matter. Something's happening, something is happening. And sorry, I had to get my hair out of my face, but we'll just edit it together. So sometimes for some people it's all at once, and then for others it's stages and layers. And Libras, generally, there's some things that bring all signs together, and there are general things that we can take a look at. We're starting to take a look at, and I would like to say that through the cards and through these readings, it's how you evolve, because that's where I come from. That's what my beliefs are. I cannot read and do these things off of anyone else's beliefs and what I see. And that's where, perception then comes in, right? I'm not hell-bent by anything, because there is a freedom and a free will as well. So Libras can tend to be the sign that can be very different, because there are so many layers and levels to the scales, because it depends on what frequency you're on. It depends on what you're cultivating in your life, how much you've healed, what you've taken a look at. And for everyone, it's these things, right? But when we get to Libra, this is the time to balance things out. This is the time where we see, I noticed I really liked the purple, so we're going to bring it in here. Really like to see the shifts. And this is where you begin to see yourself in a way where we need to address is that just because you're other people's mirrors doesn't mean that they're yours. Your rebirth that you're going through, and this is where I'm tying in everything, is that you can't look around and see anyone else going through what you're going through. And I think that for a while, you've been looking for that. You can find similarities, of course, but there will always be a uniqueness to what each individual goes through. But as a Libra, it will depend on what layer and level and what you're weighing out at this time. And if you don't have other Libras in your life, it can be difficult too, because they are your most obvious mirror, sun, moon, or rising, or someone who has major Libra placements. And not that, this is why or what's important. I'm just saying these things because this is a time where you need to allow yourself to trust your intuition. And this is where I talked about in the Cancer reading a little bit, how you both learn from each other. And Cancer didn't come out, maybe it will, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So, because I think it's a really important lesson that you teach each other. And right now it's one of those modes and you feel it. And this is perfect description, right? Like this, especially these sword signs coming out. This is a perfect description because we're going to also pull for the general theme of your year at the end. But this would be a good start because you're going to now clock, if you haven't started to do this, everywhere in your life. And it's not about being right or wrong, so I'm going to, choose wisely. It's when your intuition was correct. When it was, yes. We're going to talk about your intuition being, totally on point. So, and you can see this in all the ways in which you, Libra, uniquely relate in the world. What you work through, if it's, I don't know why I'm saying sports, if it's your style, if it's esoteric, if it's all of it, if it's, plants, if it's art, if it's a mixture of a whole bunch of different things, if it's money, you're going to start to see, oh shit, it's not that it was a missed opportunity, but it was the lack of perception and the lack of boundaries you've had on that perception. Because as the sign who likes to relate, yet also be unique and be your own thing, of course, I can't tell you enough. We have the sun on the bottom here. You now have to trust that perception, that very psyche intuition that's happening with you right now needs protection. It needs protection. And also if you're out here talking and making content and conversing and communicating, and you are a Libra who's very much out here, or even in your day-to-day, your work life, these spiritual nuances and lessons will come out, and they'll come up naturally in the mundane, in your life, because you have now chosen to truly integrate with this. You realize that it's one of the highest forms of technology that no one is studying enough, maybe. Maybe you just don't have all the information. Maybe now you'll be guided to that information. But if you get what I'm saying here, it's about you tapping into these energies because you're the scales, right? This is utilizing your superpower. This is, and I'll talk more about that, but now I want to reference the cards we have out 5 minutes in. There's great clarity. You've been asking for some things to come through, and there's many opportunities that also come through. But you're unwilling to, for a lot of you, it's unwilling to settle. A lot of you, it's also creative. Like you need to create these boundaries. You need to create this stability, this perception. You need to be able to see this because you can see it for others. And now it's most important to see it for yourself. See your life. You may not have every detail down because no one can truly predict. Even those who are comfortable in life. Sorry, I keep moving this. Even those who say that they're comfortable in life, Libra, or you can tell are financially comfortable, whatever it is. Everyone has their spot. It could be finances for those people, and that's why that's the comfort that they've built and they've focused on solely. And what I'm going to say is nothing's truly guaranteed. Things could get better for those people. Things can get even better. I'm not saying that either, right? Things can get 10 times better. The most positive things could happen. You never know. And because you are so clear right now, and it's about bringing this into your ego, into a way, from your subconscious to the conscious, so that you can be very disciplined to knowing that things will come to you more. Now, that's that intuition, that the thing that goes off in your mind that you may not realize goes off in your mind is when you see someone, you want a specific thing, or you want a specific person to notice you, or whatever it is, because that will then be whatever it is to you. You're starting to shift that and say, like, what's the energy? You know, if that person comes to me, what's the energy they're given? Maybe that's like whoever it is on your list, or whatever it is, or the money, what's that feeling? And that's a lot about manifestation, of course. But this is also integrating with now you realizing like what Cancer does. And that's what now we're rounding off finally what Cancer can do, is they learn to shift the current. They'll hold strong. They won't settle for the most part when they know they want something, just like you. But because they understand the weight, the flow, in a way that you don't, or they're learning in a way that you don't, because cerebral meets all emotion, all intuition, right? Your air intuition, there's all kinds of intuition. You're now being asked to notice what you can do with your mind, because that's your power. You know, the water signs, and I think every person, it's their emotions for sure, but there is a difference. Everybody's different. Water signs, if they really hold their emotions to it, no matter what goes through their head, it's always about the emotion. For you guys, for air signs, I want you to think about it with your mind. You know, I don't have a lot of extra air in me in my front of my chart except for Libra, but it's so strong because the degree is also Libra. So if you take a look at your degrees as well, if you're into that, this is about being able to have control in the narrative right now. Because this is a moment in time, at this time, the way I see it, because there's so much going to be changing and shifting this year, is for you to get clear on what you really don't want to bring forward with you, and what you can really allow yourself to cleanse from at this time, mentally, emotionally, physically. The flexibility that you can have right now, it's time. It's time. And then also knowing that with that flexibility also comes a strong foundation. Because if you're not healthy and you're flexible, coming from someone who studied and practiced yoga for about 12, 13 years, you don't have anything. Who's gone through it too. Like, I'm not just saying this from like outside, it's from the inside. It doesn't mean shit. That strength is really important. It's okay if things sway. It's okay if you have different conversations, if you're not quite sure yet. But one thing you do know is that it's not about having flexibility because it looks good and it looks good to everything and it's like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Which can cause an overcompensation in another part of your body, in another area of your life, that has taken on too much power, imbalanced. So now you get the opportunity to pull the balance back, right? The more that you're disciplined with your mind, the more that your words are clear, the more that your thoughts become clear, how you want things to move comes clear, what you notice, what comes to you, and what frequency you're on. What comes to you, where you're immediately like, no, or you're like, yes, or is the maybes, and that shows you where you're at. Now I want you to think about if those things came to you years ago, right? Where have you shifted? Where maybe you need to take a look at, and it has to do with your mind, your ability, your perception. Yeah, where are you noticing that, where you're compromising yourself? for some of you, this is about true freedom. This is about moments of truth and grace. No matter what comes up or what comes out. You may also have had a lot of people, because there's a lot of people out here, just like just one facing person. You may have to have some hard conversations, some conversations that you might fuck up with. You might have opportunities where it makes you realize if you have a Sagittarius in your life, where the control has come from that situation, or Sagittarius energies, and where there is an opportunity to see if it is a Sagittarius, and I will talk about it in another way, but if it is a Sagittarius, where the balancing out needs to happen, or where they're showing you to maybe even have more grace for yourself, and you're noticing that it's a trigger perhaps, or you notice that this is the relationship in which it stems from, whatever it may be. You're starting to see it in a different way because you're different. And it's Temperance is Sagittarius, relates to the hips, that relates to moving forward, and also the liver, if we're going to take it up to Jupiter, and that maybe even your luck, maybe it has to do with family, right? Your luck is somehow tied to that moving forward. Jupiter's not in retrograde. You're the first time that really Jupiter's come up in. There's so many things going on, right? It could be so many different things. And I like to allow whatever transits intuitively feel stronger to come out. Of course, like I don't want to like think like only this or only that, because there is a lot happening. So now we have maybe what stopped you from moving into becoming the most authentic version of yourself. That maybe it's not about, the game plan isn't just moving on the first thing or moving on whatever excites you first. It's going with it, not expecting anything but the transformation or the journey that you're getting out of it, the journey of becoming yourself. Maybe there was too much of that happening. Perhaps. Maybe you're seeing that is what, especially under the full moon that has already passed, maybe into the moon cycle, but this is also a Pisces card, so we'll talk about Pisces a little as well. This being also the general theme of your year, is noticing how not acting on something, right? I'm not saying not to act on anything. This is telling you to. But it's not about forcing it. Or what someone else has done. This is about getting into your own individual energy enough to really take a look at what excites you, what has more urgency in your life. The eclipses, the nodes have moved in to Pisces and Virgo and Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius now. So this shift into the 12th, 6th house for Libra risings, and then the 11th house of community, you may notice that your community shifts, or you You are the catalyst for the shift within your community for some of you and for your work. But it is coming from a place where it may be coming, sorry. Okay, I'll cut that part too. Okay, so what I was gonna say, it might be you changing within the community, because it's about whatever it is that you may be transformed through your creative energy. Maybe it's children. Maybe that's like a new romance for some of you that you may be experiencing. And then it transforms your work life. And you might change jobs, or you might change roles within your job, right? And it's all because it's also health. For those of you, it's about what really is healthier for you, not just what you think you're just doing all that you think you're capable of. What basically this is trying to tell you is to work smarter, and you have that support at this time. As long as you're able to be very clear and honest with yourself and let yourself be healed by this information, that yes, life wants you to continue moving forward and to use your intuition and let it guide you, but it also has to do with how you prime the body and how you listen to the body and to tap into the body. Libra. All right, Libra. Let me take one more look at these cards. A lot of hot water, lemon, and turmeric. A lot. A lot to create this year. And you're creating a safe space to be able to do that at this time, because your focus is on having more ease, being able to fluidly move forward instead of always hitting a growth period, always hitting a growth edge. The growth now is to have learned from this time to allow yourself more momentum, and it will be more vulnerable. You will find that you will have to be more vulnerable. I think that's what I was forgetting. And to be able to see that the more you know yourself, the more you can see all sides without needing to control the narrative or needing to control the thought of the group, needing to have some kind of influence, right? Your energy, there's going to be a ripple effect in your energy and in your intuition that you'll start to see that these long-term goals start to, all of a sudden, as long as you have some, right, start to link together. That asking your intuition, asking source, asking God, asking whomever for guidance at this time will guide you. It will. Especially for a lot of you, you might have a heavy work focus right now, so you need to balance things out. So you need to see where your mental health is also a part of your health. It's funny because we do this thing where we separate the brain from the body, and it's so real, but it's so real for you that you need to, if you can, have a routine every day where you're in your body, where you're sensing your body. That could be 5 minutes, that could be a workout routine, that could be whatever you want it to be, but gets you more in touch with where you're at. It keeps you focused. It keeps you clear. It keeps your ability to have amazing ideas and put them into motion, to relay things to whom they need to be relayed to in the perfect timing, to show up you know, literally just show up in your life every day, right? Allowing yourself to receive the love and praise and attention that you so deserve. Okay. So this year and through this, it's about letting yourself walk your road and being so clear about that. Not letting anything externally deter you. Those are the star and the moon are the tail end, the last two cards. So I would imagine that in the next few months as well. So Aquarius next season and Pisces season will be big moments for you. Big moments to reveal to you what's important, what's become important. Bottom of the deck. No sway of confidence. You're so sure, you just know. You just know. You know that the road that you're traveling is the road you're supposed to be on. You could feel it. And when you have these moments, they are unshakable. And the ripple effect in your energy, both of these cards have ripple effects. Then we have the Temperance. There's a lot of water cards. It's water, air, a little bit of fire. Wands on the bottom. It's not so much of always constantly, you've been creating a lot of momentum and energy, like you've been purifying a lot probably as well, or noticing a lot. And now it's just time to do. If in your mind you wake up and you just think about meditating, you think about taking a walk, you think about doing that thing, it's about moving on it. Then you notice, am I in the right space? Am I trying to force this? Do what you need to do to cleanse this first. What's going to give you from day to day? It doesn't have to be meditating every day. It's like, okay, I need to meditate. I need to work out right now. I need to write. I need to do this. I need to do something to clear my energy right away. Pray. Because the guidance is allowing yourself to have those intuition moments before anyone else does the thing, before needing the validation. Because you may not realize how much you do that, and it's okay. Like, it's very normal. But more now than ever, I think there's something within you that you feel like, I don't need to do that anymore. I just know. And you feel yourself whenever you're reverting back to old patterns where you maybe don't feel like you do know, something or someone reminds you that you do. It could be a Sagittarius. Could be looking to a Sagittarius for guidance at this time. But this is also about how you choose to communicate. Libra rising, Sagittarius would be in your third house. So how you communicate with life, from speaking to the people in your life, or to communicating action. What are you doing on a day-to-day? Maybe your ritual needs to be shaken up. Maybe it doesn't have to look the same every day. Maybe it's time to really put that part into play. Okay, Libra? We'll get right into the second part. right into the second part of this reading, because that's what we do. But I'm so excited. So I'm so excited to get into the rest of this reading with you, because I think you're finding a true, deep sense of self and confidence that has finally found roots. This is about roots. You finding some roots. You feeling, and we're in your 4th house month for Libra risings too. So this will even show up in how you choose to carry yourself, your foundations. The conversations that you've had are similar, but they're shifting. They're not focused on old ways of connecting. You're now focused on new ways of connecting. How you've connected with yourself and how that equates to how you were raised and how you want to continue to raise yourself, and maybe if you have kids, continue to raise your kids, but also to not ignore or avoid or think you're done with something, but to recognize that no matter when something shows up, a situation, a trigger, a test, whatever it is for you, judgment, it's giving you an opportunity to have a different perspective or to deeply clarify your own. And so the discipline you have allows more fluidity into your life and more understanding, more depth. And then you start to go through this phase or this thing, you start to go through this motion of being so firm in your stance that it amazes you the clarity that you have moving forward, even if no one else understands. Because I don't have to. You do. All right, Libra. We'll see you in the second part. All the links are below.